Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I am still here at the dealership. I'm just kind of taking it all in because I really am excited about my truck now. I said that I was more excited about my Chevy, and I might be just as excited now about the Ford. So this is a XL model, and I wanted to show you guys just some differences on this truck compared to a 2022 model. And obviously, the biggest difference you're gonna see on this truck is gonna be the front end. Like, that's gonna be obviously the biggest telltale between the two. But apart from that, you really have to look for some other design cues comparing the 2022 and the 2023. But let's go ahead and get started. So in the past, you were not able to get LED headlights on the lower trim levels with the 2022 and earlier pickups. For 2023, they changed that. That was such a big step because a lot of people use these trucks for work and they drive at night, so having the best lighting that you can possibly get is the best way to go. And you can really see that in this setup here. So you have LED low beam and high beam, and I believe this is an LED turn signal too right there. Down below, you have like a projector style LED fog light. I don't believe this has an accent light, but this may also be an accent light too with this truck. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a 2022. Now as far as the lighting goes on this Super Duty, this is a 2022, and this is an XLT, so this is a slightly higher trim level. You have these halogen headlights, and in the past, this is what was only available for XL and XLT. You could not get the LED. So this is halogen, low and high beams, and fog lights. And you also have incandescent turn signals too. And one thing that I've said in the past, like when I first saw the 2023, is that I prefer the 2022 down the 2020 front end. Now that I've seen this truck in person, I do like the front end design a lot better. I mean, this one has a lot of chrome, so this is not a fair comparison. However, you have to remember, on the XL, you were not able to get this type of package on the truck. So this is like an STX package, and it really does dress up the front end of the pickup. Love the design of it. And yeah, check out your tow hooks. And you also have your lower diffuser, chin guard, whatever you want to call it. And something else is they spelled out Super Duty, or they stamped it in the hood in the front here. And that was pretty much a carryover from the 2022s for the 23s, including the chin guard down below and the front tow hooks. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the bumper design. The bumper design is definitely different from the 2022. So just make sure you get a good look at right here. I know that it's painted, so you have to kind of use your imagination a little bit, but check this out. So you can kind of see that this bumper is definitely restyled. And yeah, this one doesn't even have fog lights, so that kind of gives you a better idea of the look. But yeah, definitely the 2023 is definitely a lot different out front. So let's go ahead and move over to the side, and we'll talk about some of the changes they've done. Now, as far as the suspension goes, the suspension does look pretty similar, so does the frame. But the radius arm does look slightly different from what I've seen. I have to confirm that with another F250 from 2022, and they don't have one here. But the wheel design is definitely different. This is a 18-inch wheel, and in the past, you could not get a high gloss black wheel on the 2022 for an XL model. And you can kind of see, I'm pretty sure you could get a similar wheel to this on a 2022 XL if you did like a upgraded package. But I do like that you get painted bumpers, LED headlights, and these nicer style wheels too. And they put a good tire on there too. That's a 275/70/18. And you can see right here, this is another big update for the truck. And if you didn't watch the last video I did, this does have that STX package, which is why this truck does look a little bit more upscale than what you've seen on XLs in the past. And they do put a fabric material inside of the wheel well here too. Let's check out the 2022. These are going to be Goodyear Wrangler tires, which are a pretty decent tire. Now they are putting a fabric material on the 2022, so that's a carryover too. But like I said, as far as the trim piece or the vent here, whatever you want to call it, that was restyled for sure. And I think it looks a little bit better for the 2023 model, but this doesn't look bad either. Now, as far as the mirrors go, these are definitely a carryover. I don't think they did nothing different to these mirrors. And as far as the cab and the bed goes, there's not much differences there. However, this fender is different, and I believe the hood might be slightly different as well. Nothing looks different for the rear suspension on the F250. Now, this is an F350, so you're gonna have that one overload leaf spring there. So it's gonna be slightly different on what you're gonna see on that F250. But the taillights are definitely different. And they did add a step on the side for the 23 model. And I'm not sure if you can get that step on a dually though. That's a good thing to look up. But I'm sure on the long beds, single rear wheels, you can get that step. But that step, and then there's a step here, and then taillights are what's going to be different. And we'll check out the tailgates too to see if they're any different as well. Now, one thing I would say is they did restyle this on the 2023. I can't wait to show it to you guys too. Such a great update. And yeah, you still have a 7-pin and a 4-pin. I think that's been restyled a little bit too. And up top here, I believe that they kind of changed just a little bit and revised it. All right, now let's go ahead and hop over to the 2023. So here's the mirror, and as I mentioned, nothing is different for this. This was basically a carryover. And it's not a bad thing. These are good mirrors. And this one does have the 360 camera, so there's a camera down below there. And this fender, as I mentioned, is just different because of the headlight design. And of course that fender trim piece right there. But apart from that, cab on back, there's nothing different about these trucks. They're the exact same truck. They're even using the same door handles, I believe. And as I mentioned, you have the step here, and you have the step back here. And then check out your taillights too. And they have like this little black trim piece. That's most likely going to be for your blind spot monitoring. They do spell out Super Duty right there. And this tailgate looks the same. It looks the same as the, and I know it's not, but it does look the same though. Yeah, Ford, Super Duty, and oh, here's a 2022 right here. Boom. Okay, so it is a little different. A little different. Not much. Not much at all. So the Ford emblem looks a little bit smaller. But you remember these places for your chains, for your trailer? Check this out. This is the biggest update that they did, and this is a good thing. They made these bigger. Thank you. I love that they did that. I believe they did that for the half tons too. These are slightly different. And I think that that Ford emblem is a little different too. This looks a little different too. And this is styled slightly different on the side there. Slightly different. It's like, it's more like a stamp look maybe. You can kind of see right there. On this one, the styling on this one is slightly different from the 2023. But yeah, the taillights, the steps out back right here. They restyled the Class 5 receiving hitch, connection points for your chains, and that's pretty much it that I could see here. Yeah, the bed is pretty much the same. The last thing I wanted to show you was some of the exterior dimensions. Now, I will say they're pretty much the same. However, the wheelbase is like 0.1 inches shorter than the 22 model. So 159.7 is to 23, and then 159.8 is to 22. The length is the same, and I'm basing this off of a crew cab standard wheelbase, which is a standard bed. Also, the height is a little bit taller on the 23, but again, not by much. 81.5 versus 81.6. So like I said, there's not a lot of differences in these trucks. And basically they did the exact same thing that Ram did back in 2019. Ram just changed the front clip, redesigned the interior, added some new wheels, updated these powertrains, that's it. And Ford pretty much did the exact same thing. That's not a bad thing because obviously that does save the manufacturer money. Unfortunately, you don't really see that money transfer over to the customer, but that's just something that they've been able to do because redesigning the cabs and trucks are very expensive, so I get that. But I do like what Ford has done. If you haven't watched the last video I did on the F350, that truck had the 7.3 and had huge payload, so be sure to check that video out. But I hope you guys liked the video. Special shout out to Larry H. Miller, Super Ford Store. Let him know you guys saw the video. See you soon.